Hey guys, tonight we slip into the starlit hills of ancient Greece, where stone amphitheaters hum with restless crowds, their chatter mingling with the scent of olive groves and roasted lamb. Picture yourself perched on a hard bench, sandals dusty, as masked actors stride onto a stage below, their voices booming like thunder. You're not just watching a play, you're caught in a ritual where mortals channel gods and heroes, and one wrong step might unravel the cosmos. Spoiler, you probably won't survive the emotional whiplash of a good tragedy. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I'm curious where you're drifting off tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease in to tonight's journey together. You're standing in Athens around 500 BCE, where theater isn't just entertainment, it's a sacred handshake between humans and the divine. It all starts with Dionysus, the god of wine, revelry, and just enough chaos to keep things spicy. His festivals, like the city Dionysia, are where this whole drama thing kicks off. Picture wild processions, men sloshed on wine, singing dithyrambs, hymns that sound like a mix of drunken karaoke and poetry slams. These aren't just parties, they're offerings to keep Dionysus happy, because an annoyed god might ruin your crops, or worse, your vibe. From these rowdy chants, theater is born. Those dithyrambs evolve into structured performances, with a chorus of singers narrating epic tales. Then, some genius, probably Thespis, the first actor in history, steps out from the chorus, slaps on a mask, and starts acting as a character. Boom. Greek theater is officially a thing. Now, let's get quirky. Ever hear about the goat connection? The word tragedy might come from tragoidia, meaning goat song. Scholars think maybe a goat was the prize for the best performance, or, stay with me, singers dressed as satyrs, Dionysus, half-goat buddies, to hype the crowd. Imagine a furry, hoofed backup dancer stealing the show. Historians still argue whether the goat was literal or just a metaphor for raw, primal energy. Either way, it's a weird flex for a culture that gave us democracy. You're watching this unfold in a world where theater is more than art. It's a spiritual flex. The Greeks believe stories can bridge the gap between mortals and gods. Every play is a prayer, every actor a vessel. Take the chorus, a dozen guys chanting in unison, their voices weaving the story's moral backbone. They're not just background noise, they're the voice of fate, the gods, or even your own conscience. You lean forward, caught in their rhythm, as the lead actor, maybe playing Apollo, strides out. His mask, carved wood, larger than life, makes him look like he just stepped off Mount Olympus. You can't see his face, but his voice hits you like a tidal wave, carrying every word to the cheap seats. Let's pause for a chuckle. These actors, total divas. They train for years to project their voices without mics, but sometimes they overdo it, and you're stuck listening to a guy scream, "I am Zeus," like he's auditioning for a lightning bolt. Still, the crowd eats it up. Theater is new, raw, and a little unhinged, kind of like binge watching a series before anyone knows if it's good. You're swept into this because theater isn't optional. It's a citywide obsession. Everyone's here, rich, poor, even the guy who smells like he bathed in feta. The city Dionysia isn't just a festival, it's a week-long flex of Athenian pride. Playwrights compete, actors strut, and the gods are watching. If the performance flops, you might feel Dionysus' disapproval in next year's harvest. No pressure. You glance around, seeing faces lit by torchlight, all of you bound by this shared ritual. It's not just a show, it's a moment where you feel the pulse of something bigger, something divine. You're still in that Athenian amphitheater, the air thick with anticipation, as an actor steps into the torchlight, his mask gleaming like it's carved from moonlight. This isn't just a guy in a costume. He's transforming into a god, a hero, maybe even a monster. You feel the crowd hush, their eyes locked on him, because in this moment, he's not mortal. He's channeling something bigger, something that makes your skin prickle. Remember that goat song vibe from the Dionysus festivals? This is where it gets real. Actors become the bridge between you and the divine, embodying legends so vividly you half believe Apollo himself is about to smite someone. Picture the scene. The actor's playing Heracles, his voice booming through the stone tiers. He's not just reciting lines. He's living the myth, slaying the Nemean lion, wrestling with fate itself. The Greeks lean into this hard. Actors aren't pretending, they're vessels. The mainstream fact here: by 500 BCE, Athens formalizes this with the city Dionysia, where actors compete in tragic plays, each one a high-stakes showdown to channel epic figures. Aeschylus, the big-shot playwright, starts using 2 actors instead of 1, letting them bounce dialogue off each other. Suddenly, you're not just hearing a story, you're watching gods and heroes clash in real time. Now, for the quirky bit, actors sometimes got too into it. There's a wild story about an actor playing Heracles who got so carried away, he accidentally bonked a prop guy with his club during a lion-slaying scene. The crowd roared, half in shock, half thinking it was part of the show. No one's sure if it's true, but it's the kind of chaos Dionysus would have loved. Historians still argue whether these overzealous performances were genius or just actors forgetting their chill. You're caught up in this because the actor's transformation feels like magic. His mask, painted with fierce eyes, makes him larger than life. His robes, crimson, gold, flowing, scream, "I'm not one of you." And his voice, trained to carry across thousands without a mic, it's like he's speaking straight to your soul. You're not just watching Heracles, you're feeling his rage, his grief, his divinity. The chorus behind him sways, chanting about fate, their voices a low hum that pulls you deeper. It's immersive, like VR, but with better vibes and no headset. Let's sneak in a chuckle. These actors had to be fit. Those robes weighed a ton, and masks weren't exactly breathable. Imagine sweating buckets under a wooden Zeus face, trying not to pass out while yelling about thunderbolts. You'd probably pray for a breeze, but nope, just more torch smoke. The crowd doesn't care. They're too busy gasping as the actor switches roles mid-play, swapping masks to play a mortal, then a god, then maybe a talking river. Versatility was their flex. You lean forward, noticing how the actor's every gesture is deliberate, exaggerated so even the back row gets it. This isn't subtle theater. It's a full-body spectacle. The Greeks love it because it's larger than life, just like their myths. When the actor playing Heracles roars about his labors, you feel the weight of his curse. When he collapses, betrayed by fate, you're right there with him. It's not just acting, it's possession. The crowd believes he's tapped into something cosmic, and honestly, you're starting to believe it too. This transformation isn't just for kicks, it's cultural rocket fuel. Actors embodying gods and heroes remind you why these stories matter. They're not just tales, they're lessons. Heracles' strength teaches resilience, his flaws warn against hubris. You glance around, seeing kids, merchants, even grumpy old philosophers in the crowd, all drinking it in. This is how Athens keeps its myths alive, how it teaches you to fear the gods and chase glory. The actor's not just a performer, he's a storyteller, a priest, a mirror for your own dreams and screw-ups. You're hooked now, the torchlight flickering on your face as the actor strides off stage, his mask still haunting your thoughts. The chorus hums on, tying the story together, and you realize this is more than a show. It's a ritual that makes you feel immortal, even if just for tonight. You're still perched in that Athenian amphitheater, the crowd's murmurs blending with the distant chirp of crickets. An actor steps forward, but it's his mask that steals your breath. Wooden, oversized, with hollow eyes and a gaping mouth that seems to swallow the torchlight. This isn't just a prop, it's a portal, turning a sweaty mortal into a god or a ghost. Remember how actors channeled Heracles' divine rage? Now, you're about to see how masks make that magic happen, amplifying voices and souls until the whole hillside feels haunted. These masks are the backbone of Greek theater. Mainstream fact alert. By 500 BCE, every actor wears one, crafted from wood or linen, painted to scream king or fury or doomed lover. They're not just for looks, they're megaphones. The mouth's carved shape boosts the actor's voice, flinging every syllable to the back row of 15,000 people. You hear Oedipus wail about his cursed fate, and it's like he's whispering in your ear, even from 50 yards away. The mask's exaggerated features, furrowed brows, wild grins, make emotions crystal clear, no matter where you're sitting. Now, the quirky tidbit. Some masks were double-sided, letting actors flip roles mid-scene. Imagine a guy playing both a hero and his dead mom, spinning the mask like it's a theater hack for budget cuts. No one's found hard proof of these flip masks, but the gossip's juicy enough to make you wonder. Historians still argue whether they existed, or if actors just swapped masks backstage, like overworked cosplayers. You lean closer, mesmerized by the mask's effect. It's not just about sound or visuals, it's psychological. The actor vanishes, the character takes over. When he dons Agamemnon's mask, you don't see a dude named Steve. You see a warlord wrestling with doom. The mask strips away humanity, leaving only the story. You feel it in your gut. This guy's not acting. He's possessed. The chorus chants behind him, their own masks, less flashy, more uniform, making them a faceless voice of fate. It's eerie, like they're not even human, just echoes of the god's will. Here's a quick laugh. Those masks, hot, heavy, and probably smelled like old wine and desperation. Actors had to nail their lines while half suffocating, hoping they didn't trip over their robes. You'd probably sneak a sip of water if you were stuck in one. But nah, these guys are pros, sweating for Dionysus like it's their cardio. You're drawn deeper as the actor's voice shifts. The mask doesn't just amplify sound, it changes how he speaks. He stretches vowels, booms consonants, making every word feel like a spell. When he plays a god, his tone's lofty, untouchable, immortal, and it's raw, cracked with pain. You're not just hearing lines, you're feeling the weight of myths carved into those wooden faces. The mask's design matters too. A furrowed brow signals tragedy. A sly smirk hints at comedy. You spot one with curled lips, and you brace for satire, knowing some politicians about to get roasted. This mask obsession isn't just tech, it's spiritual. The Greeks believe they channel divine essence. When an actor wears Athena's mask, he's not just playing her, he's inviting her presence. You shiver, half expecting a goddess to actually show up. The crowd feels it too, their cheers quieter now, like they're afraid to break the spell. Even the rowdy guys in the back, usually tossing figs, are locked in. Let's chuckle again. Imagine the backstage chaos. Actors fumbling with mask straps, cursing under their breath, while the chorus leader hisses, "Hurry up, you're on." It's like a modern theater crew, but with more togas and fewer coffee runs. You'd probably trip over a prop goat, but these guys, they nail it. You're fully immersed now, the mask's hollow eyes staring through you. It's not just a tool, it's the heart of the performance, turning a mortal into a myth. The actor's body moves, slow, deliberate, and you realize the mask forces him to act with his whole frame. Every gesture huge to match its larger-than-life face. When he collapses, mask glinting in the torchlight, you feel the story's weight in your chest. This is why masks matter. They don't just hide the actor, they reveal the divine. You're nestled in the Athenian amphitheater, the stone bench cool against your legs, as the chorus hums like a heartbeat through the crowd. Torchlight dances on thousands of faces. Merchants, kids, philosophers, all glued to the stage where a masked actor roars as Achilles. This isn't just a show. It's the city's pulse, binding everyone in a shared story. Remember those haunting masks amplifying voices? Now, you see how theater itself stitches Athens together, turning strangers into a community that breathes as one. Here's the mainstream fact. By the 5th century BCE, theater is Athens' civic glue. The city Dionysia, that wild Dionysus festival, draws every citizen, rich, poor, even the occasional grumpy poet, for a week of plays. It's government funded, with wealthy sponsors footing the bill to flex their patriotism. You're not just watching drama. You're part of a ritual that screams, "We're Athenian and we're epic." The state even pays for poorer folks' tickets, ensuring everyone's in on the vibe. It's like an ancient version of free Netflix, but with more gods and less buffering. Now, the quirky bit. The festival's opening parade sometimes featured giant wooden phalluses. Yep, you heard that right. Carted through the streets to honor Dionysus's fertile chaos. Picture tipsy Athenians cheering as these, props roll by. No one's sure if it was pure reverence or just an excuse to party, but it's peak Greek weirdness. Historians still argue whether these displays were sacred or just the ancient equivalent of a frat prank. You're swept into the crowd's energy, feeling the theater's power to unite. Every play is a mirror, reflecting Athens' values: honor, sacrifice, the occasional bad life choice. When the actor playing Achilles rages about glory, you see warriors in the audience nod, their scars catching the light. When he weeps, mothers clutch their kids, reminded of war's cost. The chorus chants, tying it all together, their voices a thread, weaving personal stories into the city's fabric. You're not just a spectator, you're part of Athens' soul. Let's sneak a laugh. The seating? Brutal. You're crammed next to a guy munching garlic-heavy snacks, and the stone benches make your butt beg for mercy. You'd probably smuggle a cushion next time, but the crowd's too hyped to care, shouting at the stage like it's a sports match. You feel the theater's civic weight as the play unfolds. It's not just art, it's education. Kids learn myths, adults debate justice. Even the guy selling olives in the back picks up a lesson about hubris. The Dionysus, a citywide TED Talk, minus the slick slides, but with better costumes. You notice how the crowd reacts, cheers for heroes, gasps at betrayals, like they're all in the story. It's immersive, raw, and makes you feel like Athens is one big, messy family. Another chuckle for you. Some sponsors, desperate to impress, overdid it, bankrolling lavish sets only to see their play flop. Imagine blowing your fortune on a giant prop sphinx that collapses mid-scene. You'd probably slink out of town, but these guys just doubled down for next year's festival. You're caught in the rhythm now. The chorus's chant, pulsing through you. Theater's civic role isn't just about unity, it's about identity. Athens uses these plays to flex its culture, especially against rivals like Sparta. Every tragedy, every myth screams, we're the city of ideas, of stories. You see politicians in the front row, nodding like they're above it all, but even they're hooked. The theater's a public square where Athens wrestles with itself, its pride, its flaws, its gods. The quirky parade from earlier lingers in your mind. Those absurd props, a reminder that theater's not all serious. It's joy, chaos, a celebration of being human. You glance at the crowd, their faces lit with awe, and realize this is why theater matters. It's not just stories, it's a city, finding its voice, its heart. The actor's final line echoes, the chorus falls silent, and you feel the weight of thousands of hearts beating together, bound by this fleeting, perfect moment. You're still wedged in that Athenian amphitheater, the crowd's heat pressing against you as a masked actor staggers on stage, his voice raw with despair. This is tragedy, and it hits like a fist to the chest. Heroes crumbling under fate's cruel thumb, Remember how theater unified Athens, stitching the city into one beating heart. Now, you're diving into the gut-wrench of tragedy, where hubris and destiny collide, leaving you rattled and a little too seen. Here's the mainstream fact. Greek tragedy, peaking around 450 BCE, is theater's heavy hitter. Playwrights like Sophocles and Euripides craft stories of mortals, kings, mothers, warriors, who dare to defy the gods or their own flaws, only to crash spectacularly. Think Oedipus, who solves the Sphinx's riddle but can't outrun his cursed fate. These plays, performed at the city Dionysus, aren't just drama. They're warnings etched in blood and tears, teaching you to respect the god's power and check your ego. Now, the quirky tidbit. Some tragedies were so intense, audiences reportedly fainted. Picture a guy in the back row, hyped for a cool myth, only to keel over when Medea screams about her murdered kids. No hard evidence, but the story's wild enough to make you smirk. Historians still argue whether these fainting spells were real or just spicy Athenian gossip to hype the plays. You're pulled into the tragedy's grip as the actor, playing a doomed king, roars about his pride. His mask, furrowed brow, hollow eyes, makes every word feel like a prophecy. The chorus behind him chants, their voices a low wail, warning of hubris, that fatal Greek sin of thinking you're bigger than fate. You feel the story's weight. Every choice the king makes drags him closer to ruin. It's not just his fall, it's yours. You've made bad calls, ignored red flags, and the chorus seems to know it, their words cutting too close. Let's pause for a laugh. These plays could last hours, and you're stuck on that stone bench, praying your legs don't go numb. Imagine sneaking a snack, only to drop an olive and have it roll under the garlic breath guy next to you. You'd probably just write it off as a sacrifice to Dionysus. You're hooked deeper as the tragedy unfolds. The actor's voice cracks, betrayal, loss, the god's wrath piling on. You're not just watching, you're living it. The Greeks love this because it's catharsis, a soul-cleansing purge. You cry for the king, but also for your own messes, your own moments of "I got this" gone wrong. The chorus weaves it together, their chants like a mirror. Mortals suffer, mortals fall. You glance around, seeing tears glint in the torchlight. Strangers sharing this raw, human ache. Another chuckle. The actors? Drama queens off stage too. Some demanded fancier masks or bigger roles, like ancient A-listers throwing tantrums. You'd probably roll your eyes, but when they hit the stage, you're all in, forgetting their diva antics. You're immersed now, the tragedy's power sinking in. It's not just about doom, it's about truth. The Greeks use these plays to face life's big questions. Why do good people suffer? Can you escape fate? The actor's final scream echoes, his body crumpling, and you feel the god's gaze, not just on him, but on you. It's unsettling, like the story's peeling back your own flaws. The crowd's silent, breathless, as the chorus hums a final warning. Pride invites ruin. This isn't just entertainment, it's a ritual of reckoning. You see why Athens obsesses over tragedy. It's a safe way to feel the abyss without jumping in. The actor's mask, still gleaming, seems to stare through you, and you wonder if you'd fare better than the king. Probably not. The story's done, but its weight lingers, heavy as the night air. You shift on the bench, heart pounding, knowing this is why tragedy endures. It's not just a story, it's a mirror for your own fragile, defiant soul. You're still sunk into that Athenian amphitheater, the crowd's tension easing as a new actor bounds on stage, his mask twisted into a cheeky grin. After the soul-crushing weight of tragedy, comedy's here to poke fun at life's absurdities, and you're ready for a laugh. Remember how tragedy's mirror showed your flaws? Now, comedy holds up a warped reflection, mocking society's quirks with a wink and a jab, making you chuckle even as you squirm. Here's the mainstream fact. By the 5th century BCE, Greek comedy is a city Dionysia staple, with playwrights like Aristophanes dishing out old comedy. Wild, satirical plays that roast everything from politicians to philosophers. Performed alongside tragedies, these shows use humor to question Athens' status quo, letting you laugh at the powerful without starting a riot. Think The Clouds, where Socrates gets skewered as a bumbling sophist. It's sharp, public, and gloriously rude. Now, the quirky tidbit. Comedies often featured actors in padded costumes with exaggerated, anatomical props. Think oversized leather phalluses swinging for laughs. Crowds howled as actors strutted, playing up the absurdity. No one's sure how much was pure shock value versus Dionysian fertility vibes, but it was a bold choice. Historians still argue whether these props were just crude gags or deeper symbols of creative chaos. You're caught in the comedy's vibe as the actor, playing a pompous general, trips over his own ego, literally, thanks to a sneaky prop. His mask, with its comically arched brows, amplifies every exaggerated eye roll. The chorus, now a gang of wisecracking farmers, chants snarky jabs, their voices light but cutting. You laugh as the general's plan to conquer Sparta with poetry unravels, but you also wince. His arrogance feels a bit too familiar. This is comedy's trick. It's silly, but it stings. Let's sneak a laugh. Those padded costumes? Hot and bulky. Imagine an actor waddling on stage, sweating like he's in a toga sauna, only to trip on his fake gut. You'd probably snort, but the crowd eats it up, cheering like it's all part of the gag. You're hooked as the play leans into satire. The actor mocks a real-life politician, someone in the front row, probably fuming, calling him a windbag with a purse for a brain. The crowd roars, and you realize comedy's power. It's a pressure valve. Athens is intense. Wars, debates, gods judging your every move. And these plays let you vent. The chorus chimes in, lampooning fads like philosopher beards, and you spot a bearded guy in the audience, fake laughing to save face. It's bold, messy, and so very human. Another chuckle. Backstage, actors probably bickered over who got the best prop. Nobody wants the saggy phallus. You'd probably pick the shiny helmet. But these guys, they lean into the chaos, hamming it up for Dionysus's glory. You're immersed now, the comedy's rhythm, infectious. It's not just jokes, it's rebellion. These plays call out corruption, mock bad ideas, and remind you that even the mighty look ridiculous sometimes. The actor's next bit, a dance routine with a drunken oracle who predicts more taxes, has you doubled over, but it's also a jab at Athens' endless wars. The chorus eggs the crowd on, their chants daring you to question the powerful. You feel the thrill of it, like you're part of a secret club, laughing at the world's flaws. That this isn't just fun, it's a civic act. Comedy lets Athens critique itself without bloodshed. You see why it's paired with tragedy. One breaks your heart, the other sharpens your wit. The actor's final jab lands, a quip about politicians building walls while ignoring potholes, and the crowd erupts. You're grinning, but you're thinking too, wondering if your own leaders deserve a roast. The chorus hums a cheeky farewell, and you lean back, lighter but sharper, knowing comedy's not just laughter, it's a mirror that dares you to look closer. You're still packed into that Athenian amphitheater, the night air sharp with the scent of pine and wine. As a new play begins, the stage lit by flickering torches. The crowd hushes, eager for the words of a master, someone like Aeschylus or Sophocles, whose scripts don't just entertain, but reshape how you think. Remember comedy's cheeky jabs at politicians? Now, you're meeting the playwrights who craft these stories, turning myths into mirrors for Athens' soul with every line. Here's the mainstream fact. By the 5th century BCE, playwrights are Athens' rock stars. Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides dominate the city Dionysia, each pushing tragedy's boundaries. Aeschylus, the old-school titan, invents the two-actor format, letting characters clash directly. Think the Oresteia, where family betrayal cuts deep. Sophocles adds a third actor, upping the drama's complexity, while Euripides leans into messy human emotions, making gods and heroes feel like your flawed neighbors. Their plays aren't just art, they're Athens' moral compass. Now, the quirky tidbit. Playwrights sometimes moonlighted as actors or chorus trainers, juggling roles like overworked theater nerds. Imagine Sophocles, mid-rehearsal, yelling at a chorus guy for missing a step, then rushing to tweak a line about Oedipus's doom. No solid proof he did this, but the image is pure chaos. Historians still argue whether these multitasking geniuses were hands-on directors or just control freaks with papyrus. You're drawn in as the play, say, Aeschylus' Agamemnon, unfolds. The actor's mask gleams, his voice thundering about a king's cursed homecoming. You feel Aeschylus' touch. Every word is heavy, like fate itself is speaking. The chorus chants of blood and vengeance, their rhythm hypnotic, and you realize this isn't just a story. It's a warning about cycles of violence. Playwrights like him don't just write, they sculpt ideas, forcing you to question justice, loyalty, even the gods' fairness. Let's slip in a laugh. These guys wrote under pressure. 3 plays in a day for the festival. No extensions. Imagine Aeschylus chugging wine, scribbling by lamplight, muttering, "Another ghost scene? Sure, why not?" You'd probably need a nap, but he's out here inventing Western drama. You're hooked deeper as the play's themes hit home. Sophocles, if it's his Oedipus Rex, makes you squirm with irony. Oedipus hunts the truth, only to find he's the problem. You feel the crowd tense, some whispering about their own secrets. Euripides might flip it, showing a goddess like Medea as a scorned woman, not a monster. These writers craft characters who feel alive, their pain and pride clawing at you. The chorus ties it all together, their voices a bridge between myth and your own doubts. Another chuckle. Playwrights had egos, big ones. Rumor has it Aeschylus bragged his plays were slices of Homer's feast, like he was remixing the Iliad with extra spice. You'd probably eye roll, but when his words hit, you're too stunned to care. You're immersed now, seeing how playwrights shape minds. They're not just telling stories, they're Athens therapists, philosophers, and rebels. Aeschylus challenges blind obedience to tradition. Sophocles probes free will. Euripides questions divine justice. You watch the actor collapse, cursed by his choices, and feel the playwright's intent to make you think, not just feel. The crowd's reactions, gasps, murmurs, show it's working. Even the guy next to you, still reeking of garlic from that civic festival vibe, mutters about fate like he's Socrates. This isn't just theater, it's a cultural engine. Playwrights take myths and make them urgent, forcing Athens to face its values. You see why their words endure. They're not preaching, they're provoking. The chorus's final chant lingers, a haunting echo of human struggle, and you lean back, mind buzzing. These writers aren't just crafting plays, they're building a legacy that'll outlast the stone you're sitting on, shaping how you and everyone wrestle with being human. You're still sunk into that Athenian amphitheater, the night buzzing with the crowd's restless energy, their cheers and boos echoing off the stone tiers. The stage glows under torchlight, and a masked actor pauses mid-line, glancing at the sea of faces, judging his every move. Remember how playwrights like Sophocles shaped minds with their words? Now, you're diving into the audience's power, where you and thousands of rowdy Athenians become the play's ultimate critics, shaping its fate with your shouts and jeers. Here's the mainstream fact. In 5th century BCE Athens, the audience isn't just a passive crowd. At the city Dionysia, spectators, up to 15,000 strong, play a crucial role, their reactions influencing the festival's competitive vibe. Judges award prizes for best tragedy and comedy, but the crowd's roar or silence sways them. You're not just watching, you're voting with your voice, cheering for brilliance or heckling a flop, making every performance a high-stakes gamble for glory. Now, the quirky tidbit. Some audiences got wild, pelting bad actors with figs or even bread crusts. Picture a guy bombing as Prometheus, dodging fruit like it's an Olympic sport. No solid records confirm mass food fights, but the stories paint a chaotic scene. Historians still argue whether these outbursts were common or just exaggerated tales to spice up theater lore. You're caught in the crowd's pulse, your own voice joining the fray. The actor, playing a defiant Antigone, nails a speech about justice, and you cheer, swept up in her fire. But when her co-star flubs a line, a ripple of boos rolls through, and you can't help but smirk. The chorus keeps chanting, unfazed, their masks hiding any nerves, but you feel the actor's tension. They're at your mercy. This isn't a quiet theater. It's a lively arena where your applause can crown a poet or send him slinking home. Let's toss in a laugh. Sitting for hours on these stone benches? Torture. You're squirming, envying the rich guys up front with cushions, while some kid behind you keeps kicking your back. You'd probably bribe him with a fig to chill, but the play's too good to care for long. You're hooked deeper as the play's climax hits. The actor's voice soars, pleading with the gods, and you lean forward, breathless. The crowd split. Some shout praise. Others grumble about too much talking. You realize this is Athens' heartbeat, a messy, loud democracy where everyone's got an opinion. The Dionysus judging panel, seated near the stage, scribbles notes, but they're watching you too. Your cheers for a bold line or groan at a weak one nudge their verdict. It's power, raw and real, like you're co-writing the festival's legacy. Another chuckle. Some spectators brought their own props, think noisy clappers or whistles, to hype their favorite playwright. Imagine the chaos when Team Aeschylus starts a clap-off against Team Euripides. You'd probably join in just to mess with the snooty philosopher next to you. You're fully immersed now, feeling the audience's sway. This isn't just entertainment, it's a cultural showdown. The crowd's reactions shape not just this play, but the next one. A big win means the playwright's ideas, say Sophocles' take on fate, echo in Athens' streets, debated in markets. A flop? He's back to scribbling by lamplight, dodging figs next year. You see kids mimicking the actors, old men arguing the play's morals, and you get it. The audience isn't just watching history, it's making it, one shout at a time. The play ends, and your applause joins the thunderous wave, or maybe you hold back, unimpressed. The actor bows, mask glinting, and you feel the weight of your role. You're not just a face in the crowd. You're Athens' voice, its critic, its soul. The chorus hums a final note, and you lean back, buzzing with the thrill of judging myths that'll outlast the stars above. You're still crammed in that Athenian amphitheater, the crowd's energy crackling as a masked actor strides on stage, his words sharp enough to cut through the torchlit haze. This play's different. Its barbs aim at real power, maybe even the politicians squirming in the front row. Remember how the audience's cheers shape the festival's legacy? Now, you're seeing theater's political sting, where plays don't just tell stories, but challenge kings, spark debates, and make Athens question its own might. Here's the mainstream fact. By the 5th century BCE, Greek theater is a political weapon. At the city Dionysia, playwrights like Aristophanes and Euripides weave critiques of Athens' leaders, wars, and policies into their plays. Aristophanes' Lysistrata, for example, has women staging a sex strike to end the Peloponnesian War, a bold jab at Athens' endless fighting. These plays aren't subtle. They're public provocations, using myth or satire to hold a mirror to power right in front of thousands. Now, the quirky tidbit. Some plays were so spicy, politicians tried to ban them. Legend has it, Aristophanes' roasts of a war hawk named Cleon got him hauled into court, though he kept writing anyway. No solid proof of a full ban, but the threat was real. Historians still argue whether these legal dust-ups were serious or just posturing to hype the drama. You're pulled into the play's edge as the actor, masked as a sly citizen, mocks a general's latest blunder, say, a botched naval campaign. The chorus chimes in, their chants dripping with sarcasm, calling the leader a storm-tossed fool. You hear gasps, then laughter from the crowd. That politician in the front, he's red-faced, but he can't storm out. Everyone's watching. You feel the thrill of it. Theater's a safe space to challenge power, where a poet's words can humble the mighty without drawing blood. Let's sneak a laugh. These political jabs, risky. Imagine the playwright sweating backstage, praying the crowd laughs instead of riots. You'd probably rewrite a line or two, but these guys lean into the chaos, tossing shade like it's an Olympic event. You're hooked deeper as the play digs in. The actor's speech, maybe about greed fueling war, hits hard, and you see heads nod, even among the rich sponsors. This isn't just entertainment, it's a public forum. Athens loves debate, and theater's its loudest stage. Euripides might slip a line questioning the god's role in Athens' conquests, making you wonder if divine backing's just propaganda. The chorus amplifies it, their voices a collective think about it. You glance around, catching whispers. Some agree, others scoff, but everyone's engaged. Another chuckle. Politicians sometimes clapped loudest at their own roasts, trying to seem chill. Picture a pompous senator fake laughing while mentally cursing Aristophanes. You'd probably try the same, but that garlic breath guy next to you isn't buying it, muttering about cowardly leaders. You're immersed now, feeling theater's political pulse. It's not just about mocking, it's about questioning. Plays like Lysistrata dare Athens to rethink war, gender, power. They're not preachy, they're provocative, using humor or tragedy to spark ideas. You see why this matters. In a democracy like Athens, theater's a pressure valve, letting citizens vent without rebellion. The actor's final line, a plea for peace, lands like a stone, and the crowds split. Cheers from the weary, glares from the hawks. You feel you're still crammed in that Athenian amphitheater, the crowd's energy crackling as a masked actor strides on stage, his words sharp enough to cut through the torchlit haze. This play's different. Its barbs aim at real power, maybe even the politician squirming in the front row. Remember how the audience's cheers shape the festival's legacy? Now, you're seeing theater's political sting, where plays don't just tell stories, but challenge kings, spark debates, and make Athens question its own might. Here's the mainstream fact. By the 5th century BCE, Greek theater is a political weapon. At the city Dionysia, playwrights like Aristophanes and Euripides weave critiques of Athens' leaders, wars, and policies into their plays. Aristophanes' Lysistrata, for example, has women staging a sex strike to end the Peloponnesian War, a bold jab at Athens' endless fighting. These plays aren't subtle. They're public provocations, using myth or satire to hold a mirror to power right in front of thousands. Now, the quirky tidbit. Some plays were so spicy, politicians tried to ban them. Legend has it, Aristophanes' roasts of a war hawk named Cleon got him hauled into court, though he kept writing anyway. No solid proof of a full ban, but the threat was real. Historians still argue whether these legal dust-ups were serious or just posturing to hype the drama. You're pulled into the play's edge as the actor, masked as a sly citizen, mocks a general's latest blunder, say, a botched naval campaign. The chorus chimes in, their chants dripping with sarcasm, calling the leader a storm-tossed fool. You hear gasps, then laughter from the crowd. That politician in the front, he's red-faced, but he can't storm out. Everyone's watching. You feel the thrill of it. Theater's a safe space to challenge power, where a poet's words can humble the mighty without drawing blood. Let's sneak a laugh. These political jabs? Risky. Imagine the playwright sweating backstage, praying the crowd laughs instead of riots. You'd probably rewrite a line or two, but these guys lean into the chaos, tossing shade like it's an Olympic event. You're hooked deeper as the play digs in. The actor's speech, maybe about greed fueling war, hits hard, and you see heads nod, even among the rich sponsors. This isn't just entertainment. It's a public forum. Athens loves debate, and theater's its loudest stage. Euripides might slip a line, questioning the god's role in Athens' conquests, making you wonder if divine backing's just propaganda. The chorus amplifies it. Their voices a collective, think about it. You glance around, catching whispers. Some agree, others scoff, but everyone's engaged. Another chuckle. Politicians sometimes clapped loudest at their own roasts, trying to seem chill. Picture a pompous senator fake laughing while mentally cursing Aristophanes. You'd probably try the same, but that garlic breath guy next to you isn't buying it, muttering about cowardly leaders. You're immersed now, feeling theater's political pulse. It's not just about mocking, it's about questioning. Plays like Lysistrata dare Athens to rethink war, gender, power. They're not preachy, they're provocative, using humor or tragedy to spark ideas. You see why this matters. In a democracy like Athens, theater's a pressure valve, letting citizens vent without rebellion. The actor's final line, a plea for peace, lands like a stone, and the crowds split. Cheers from the weary, glares from the hawks. You feel the weight of their division, like Athens itself is teetering. The chorus hums a final, biting note, and you realize theater's power isn't just in the story, it's in the questions it leaves burning in your mind. You're still perched in that Athenian amphitheater, the torches dimming as the final play fades, leaving a hush over the stone benches. The masked actors bow, their shadows long against the stage, but you're already seeing beyond this hillside, centuries forward, where Greek theater's echoes shape stages you know today. Remember those sharp political jabs that made politicians squirm? Now, you're tracing how those ancient stories, masks, and choruses ripple into modern theaters, movies, even your favorite streaming shows, carrying the DNA of Athens' wild, sacred art. Here's the mainstream fact. Greek theater, born in the 5th century BCE, is the bedrock of Western drama. Its structure, prologue, episodes, exodus, still frames plays and films. Playwrights like Sophocles gave us complex characters. Aristophanes' satire lives in late-night comedy. The concept of catharsis, that emotional purge from tragedy, informs everything from Shakespeare to superhero flicks. Even the word theater comes from the Greek theatron, place for seeing. Every stage, every script owes Athens a nod. Now, the quirky tidbit. Greek plays were nearly lost. Medieval monks, copying texts, sometimes skipped pagan bits for Bible verses. Imagine a monk doodling over Euripides' best lines, thinking he's saving souls. We've got fragments of just 33 tragedies out of thousands. Historians still argue whether we've lost the best stuff or if what survived is the cream of the crop. You're leaning back, the night air cool, as you picture those ancient masks morphing into modern spotlights. That wooden mask with hollow eyes, it's the ancestor of every close-up in a tearjerker film, amplifying emotion. The chorus, chanting fate's warnings, lives in movie soundtracks, swelling to guide your heart. You think of Oedipus Rex. Its twist ending is the blueprint for every plot reveal that's left you gasping. Even comedy's cheeky mirror, like Aristophanes roasting politicians, shines in shows that mock today's headlines. You're seeing it now. Athens didn't just make plays. It built a language for storytelling. Let's slip in a laugh. Modern directors sometimes try authentic Greek staging, togas, masks, no mics, only to realize actors can't hear cues over chatty audiences. Picture a wannabe Aeschylus yelling, "Quiet," mid-scene. You'd probably giggle, but it's a nod to how raw those ancient shows were. You're hooked deeper, connecting dots across time. Shakespeare's soliloquies, they echo Greek actors' monologues, bearing souls to the crowd. Broadway's big musical numbers, they're the chorus, scaled up with jazz hands. Even stand-up comedies got that Dionysian vibe. One person, raw and real, holding a room with words. You recall those rowdy Athenian audiences, hurling figs or cheers, and see their kin in today's fans, tweeting praise or shade after a premiere. The impulse to judge, to feel, to argue, it's all Greek. Another chuckle. Some modern plays flop, trying to mimic Greek grandeur. Think overblown toga epics with fake columns. You'd probably sneak out at intermission, but the attempt shows how Athens' shadow looms large, even when it's a bit much. You're immersed now, feeling the thread from that torchlit stage to your world. Greek theater taught us to face big questions, fate, pride, justice, through stories. You see it in courtroom dramas, where a hero's flaw undoes them, or sitcoms flipping society's quirks for laughs. The city Dionysia's civic heartbeat, uniting thousands, lives in packed theaters or viral watch parties. You picture Aeschylus nodding at a modern playwright, like they're passing a torch across millennia. This isn't just history, it's a living pulse, shaping how you feel when a story hits just right. As the amphitheater empties, you linger, the stars bright above. The stage is bare, but its legacy hums in every tale that moves you. Your mind drifts, softer now, to quiet nights spent lost in stories, films, books, plays, all carrying whispers of Athens. The masks fade, the chorus quiets, and you feel a gentle calm, like the world's stories are tucking you in. Let the night carry you now into dreams where gods and heroes still speak, their voices soft as a breeze through olive groves, guiding you to rest.